Oh, you're good. Brian Tolnar joining us here on the YSN Power Hour. We were just talking about how the game of golf feels eerily similar to like 97 when Tiger came out, wins the Masters, and he modified the game for everybody, but the following that of casual golf fans that then got into golf, I think with Scotty, I think you're seeing that all over again. Would you agree, disagree?
No, I agree with you, and I think it goes beyond that. You know, we had that huge boom when Tiger came into the game, and we've had that again with COVID, and
Yep.
it still continues to keep on growing. And I read a stat the other day. I think it was National Golf Foundation that post COVID we increased the game between 19 and 28%, somewhere in there. And then I just read another article that said that it's between 31 and 34%. So the growth of the game is in great shape right now, and there's no signs of it ever slowing down. Although being in the golf business, we kind of see this flow quite a bit. Right now, it's continuing to rise, and you're waiting for it to sort of taper off, but it just really hasn't. And what we found is, not only is it growing, but it's growing in females that are playing the game. It's growing in kids that are playing the game. It's growing in families that are playing the game. So three categories that we were always weak in as a golf industry, we've continued to grow and make leaps and bounds in. And it's grown, in the inner cities. It's grown in the country. It's grown everywhere. So the mom and pops that were around when I was a kid that would have play certain amounts of the day, it is from the morning until the leagues are done in the evening. So it continues to keep taking those steps as we progress.
We haven't had a chance to talk about the Masters, but I watched the Masters for the first time. I watched it from Thursday all the way through Sunday, and I was captivated the entire time. I think that there's a lot to be said about the storytelling aspect of it, and I think having the Live Tour and PGA builds its own storylines within the Masters itself. But watching the Masters, obviously, with sports betting the way it is right now, you can get a little bit more involved, have a little bit more skin in the game, no pun intended. But it's one of those things where you're watching Scotty Scheffler, you're watching some of these shots that, the one, I forget what it was. Maybe, was it 17 that he hit that shot and it spun back and missed it by a fraction of an inch.
Yep.
And then I've got my son on my right, my daughter on my left, and my wife is watching it from the kitchen, and she's like, I bet you think you can do that now. And I was like, oh, yeah, absolutely. When you see that stuff, and golf is becoming a mainstream sport, which is what we'll eventually talk about in this segment. It hasn't always been. And I never thought it would be, to be quite honest, and that's on me for underestimating it. But when you see what happened at the Masters, does that excite you, or does it scare you for having to hold the flag, so to speak, around here regionally?
No, it certainly excites me because we're going to continue to grow the game, and I think with the programs of the PGA of America, the USGA, the Masters have outlined and they've put to work 10 years ago are starting to come to fruition now. I mean, you've got Drive, Chip, and Putt. You've got PGA Hope. You've got PGA Family Cup. You've got U.S. Kids Golf. You have all of these entities that we've never had in the past, excuse me, that are now forefront for growing the game. And we're seeing what they've done when they implemented them 6, 8, and 10 years ago to where they're coming now. Now we're getting the volume of what other sports are seeing with baseball and hockey and soccer. Now they're gravitating towards golf, and being a fan, being able to watch that on television, and then coming out to the golf course and trying to duplicate it, I think is pretty darn cool too. But there was a lot of groundwork that those organizations put in to really get us to the point to speed us up to where we're at. But just like you said, when I was a kid, the game was very different. You had your public golfer that played in leagues, and you had your country club golfer. And gone are the days of, hey, I'm taking a group of business associates to have lunch at the club. We're going to play 18 holes. We're going to shower. We're going to have dinner at the club and leave for the evening. Now it's, I want to get to the golf course and play, and I want to play in a certain time period. I want to get home, and I want to spend some time with my family. So, not that that's a bad thing, because everything changes. We tell our staff all the time, you have to adjust, adapt, and evolve.
Yep.
And I think the game of golf, you're living that in real time right now. So I think, having the opportunities that juniors have now. I mean, you could play a junior tournament every single day. We had 6 tournaments when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So there wasn't that many options, or you had to drive quite a few miles away to get to play and participate in those. Now with the Family Cup and all these clubs doing stuff to integrate the community, whether you're a member of the club or bringing in some guests to be able to play, or if you're at a public facility like ours that's open to the masses and adding new leagues. One of the things that we found here too at Mill Creek is leagues that had 50 or 60 people when I started here 10 years ago now have 80 or 100 people. The leagues that have 100 have 120 or 30. So, they continue to grow by 20 or 30 people. It doesn't sound like much, but if you do that times 41 leagues and you do that over the course of a week, you're adding a lot of rounds and a lot of people. We were always after, man, if I could increase 3 to 4% every year, we're pretty good. Now we're at the point where we're increasing 8 to 11%, which is a lot. Which is more people.
You guys are cooking.
The backgrounds of everybody coming through are completely different than they were years ago. When I went to play a country club as a kid, you're always walking on eggshells, and you don't want to be, having your hat too off to the side or whatever. Now we want you, and you're welcome to the game of golf. And I think it's done nothing but help grow the game and make the game more accessible to all.
Hey, way to bring it. Way to bring it. You guys are cooking with oil here, man, and I couldn't be more proud of you. When you look at, obviously you got a front row seat for the juniors that are coming up with Preston and everything he's been able to do. The AJGA is coming. When's the date on that?
We have that starts Father's Day weekend with the qualifier on Sunday. We host 2 of them during that week now. We used to host 1 event. Now we're up to 2. We've got PGA Junior League that just kicked off on Tuesday of this week. We've got our Par 3 League kicking off Saturday morning. So, there's plenty of opportunities, whether you're a recreational golfer or you're a competitive golfer, to get involved in the game of golf.
I heard about this Par 3 thing. I was watching 21, and you said, yeah, we flipped the lights on. I put my coffee down, and I was like, did he just say turn the lights on? For those of us who have never done the Par 3 course, explain when you say turn the light. You're playing under the lights?
We do. We actually have lights at the Wick Recreation Area on the Par 3 course. So at 7, 8 o'clock, whenever it starts to get dusk on Fridays and Saturdays, starting Memorial Day weekend and running through Labor Day, you have the opportunity to come out. You can tee it up at 10 o'clock at night if you want.
Is it a special ball?
Lights. Nope. You play under. There's plenty of light there, but it's wild.
I'm doing this. This might be a thing.
Oh, it's awesome. The crowds that we get playing evening golf are, to the point where we're talking about possibly expanding it, past that Friday or Saturday, depending upon, where we're at once we get our rec center up and going. Up on that property, but it's phenomenal to say, hey, I'm laying on the couch watching golf till 8 o'clock at night. Hey, let's go tee it up at 9.
That's incredible.
You can do that at the Wick Recreation Area, so that's pretty cool. So that's a different dynamic.
What are the differences in playing golf at night and golf in the afternoon or the morning?
Well, the ground's probably a little bit more dewier. I've only done it a few times just because we're here, a great amount of time, and it's we're back there, early in the morning and so on and so forth, but. Just to be able to get your buddies and do that, and then go out and grab a bite to eat, do whatever afterwards, I think is pretty darn cool.
Let's take a break. We'll be right back. How's that?
You got it.
All right, back after this, right here on the YSN Power Hour.
Why choose local? Because you live here, work here, learn here, relax here, and celebrate here. 21 WFMJ is our family's only locally owned TV station, and our focus is local. Other TV stations don't have that same focus, as their owners are somewhere else. But 21 WFMJ is rooted in the Valley. Local people making decisions that affect your life, right here where you live.
We know when it comes to insurance, you have so many choices. But if you're looking for someone who lives in your community, someone who cheers for your community, well then please let us introduce ourselves. Hi, we're Heiner Insurance. How can we help?
Hi, I'm Eric Carlson, president of Joe Dickey Electric and an Eagle Scout from Troop 60 in Boardman. I'd like to invite you to join us Tuesday, June 11th at the Lake Club for our 19th annual Celebration of Scouting Breakfast. Join us to hear the scouting story and to support the organization that helped me become the leader I am today. Visit gtcbsa.org/breakfast or call 234-900-5906 to reserve your spot today at the 19th annual Celebration of Scouting Breakfast.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. DJ Yoakley with you here at the YSN Power Hour, and we are joined by one of my favorite people to talk to in the entire world, not just about golf, but about the world's problems, Mr. Brian Tolnar, he's like the Lion King here at Mill Creek Golf Course. Everything the light touches, he is the king of. Your staff, which I know that you and I talk about abundantly off the air, troopers in so many different ways. And I think one of the biggest benefits of coming to Mill Creek, obviously, other than your beautiful golf courses, is the staff that you guys have here and the availability that they're always here and always willing to help. Talk to me about the leadership quality. Obviously, as any leader knows, you're not trying to create followers, you're trying to create more leaders. The leaders that you have in this place are phenomenal, man.
Absolutely. We've been very lucky in this going on my 10th year, the 10th year that we've been here to have exceptional people working for us. And that goes from the top down, starting with our executive director, Aaron Young, and our directors at my fellow level there. And then it really trickles down into each department. And obviously with golf and recreation, I had the opportunity to meet Corey, who we just brought on a little earlier today. And he's done a phenomenal job since being on board, albeit 2-3 weeks here. But Stacy Butler's been here longer than I've been here. We've had Bill Whitman, our assistant. Both are great teachers. Both are in and around the game of golf for the right reasons and want people to enjoy themselves, all the way down to our starters and our golf shop attendants, whether it be at the par 3 or our rec coordinators. Really enjoy being here. Really enjoy dealing with the public and getting kids involved, getting families involved, just giving opportunities to people to step away from their stressful, busy lives and be able to come to the metro parks and sort of decompress and relax a little bit. So we're fortunate to have a team that's been here all 10 years. Our superintendent, Lance Billy, and his staff have been here since I've been here, which is awesome. 10 years in the golf business is long because the life cycle in our industry is about 6. But it's been great to have a great team, and it makes you want to come to work every day. And we've got great people here.
I love it. All right, can we step aside from the job side? Can we take the hat that I don't want to take this hat off? Can you take that hat off for a minute from being the director of golf? Can you be dad for a minute?
Sure.
Can we talk about how unbelievable the run has been for Preston, going down to Augusta, doing all that stuff? Nobody really got a follow up on kind of what happened down there. Talk to me about that entire situation. I mean, you take as long as you want because I'm just going to sit here and just gaze into your eyes and listen to this story. Talk to me about how unbelievable that experience was, not just for Preston, but for your entire family.
I'll tell you what, from the moment we landed at the Augusta airport, there's a person there with the sign and your name on it, which is like, this is not the lifestyle that we live up here.
No.
To the moment you got on the grounds, the most pristine property I've ever been on when it comes to you can't find a weed on the surface of anywhere. You look the farthest you can see by eye into the woods, it's manicured with pine straw and flowers, the whole gamut. I mean, it's a special place. You hear the birds, you hear the crowd roar. Obviously the drive, chip, and putt that he participated in was unbelievably neat, and he had a shot to win. Coming down to the end of the putt, he drops one of those putts. It's a different story. However, we had a great time being one of the 10 finalists, and I think there was a little over 29,000 kids in his division. So they were giving you the percentages down there, which I found fascinating. At the Champions Dinner the night before, they've got 10 years of data contabulated. Less than 0.5% make it there for each of the age divisions. The likelihood of playing in a PGA, LPGA, LIV, a Futures Tour, the Nike or whatever the underlying tours are, the percentages were very high. The percentages of going to college and play collegiately were pretty high based on the 10 years of data that they shared. And the access that they gave the kids. I mean, we were in the clubhouse. We had dinner in there. They had the golf shop. They shut it down for 2 hours for the kids to go in there and shop.
How was that, Bill?
Which was a little high. But, they have everything thought out. You come out of the golf shop with your couple bags of merchandise and memorabilia. They have a UPS right outside.
Just ship it right to your
box
house.
It was home before we
it's
got
like Disney
home.
World.
It was.
They
it's
know
unbelievable.
you.
You come in the gates like Disney World there, and it's unbelievable. And the total experience and the access that they gave the kids was phenomenal. The night after the event, they have a. You ever see the show ABC's Wipeout?
Oh,
with
yeah.
all the stuff that the kids go through. They had that set up in a convention hall. And Preston played on that for like 8 or 9 hours.
Of course.
It was crazy. He's like, man, I'm like really sore. I'm like, yeah, when you're doing the rock wall and you're jumping on all of that stuff, trying to avoid the arm knocking you down.
He's not.
Those
Those muscles aren't. Those muscles aren't working.
Exactly. But everything that they had there was thought out. And I can't even imagine what the bill was for the 80 kids and their families who had the opportunity to go there, but it was special. And they did a commemorative golf bag this year, being the 10th year. They had uniforms for everybody. It was a very unique experience, and our family got to enjoy some of that. I could get 8 of us in, and there was, I don't know, about 40 of us down there.
That's awesome.
But it was pretty cool.
I mean, you talked about Preston being like a little kid. How were you?
You know what? I was there one time, but having my wife had the opportunity, my parents were down there, and some aunts and uncles and all of that were down there. You're on cloud nine, and you could hear these roars when we were doing the driving portion, and it was over by 18 green, so you think, hey, somebody's holding the putt or whatever. But you do the driving portion, you go to the chipping portion, which is close where the practice area is there, and then you make this walk from the chipping area, which is quite a long walk. You go down the hill by the golf shop, the entrance, you come up the hill by 1 and 10 tee, and then 18 sits positioned over there to the right, and there's a practice green, so the kids get some warm-up putts before they go to 18. But that entire walk, there was people, as far as your eye could see, they were cheering like you had just won the Masters. You could feel it in your chest walking.
Wow.
Down the hill,
like
up
a concert.
the hill. It was the loudest roars I've ever heard, but then you put 2 and 2 together. This is the roar that you hear at the driving range. It echoes through the property. There's nothing more special than that, and trying not to get emotional as you're walking up there and knowing that he's got to hit those 2 putts, and you're inside the ropes, and all of that stuff was pretty cool. But they made it feel like you were a tour player, and that's one of the things that Preston mentioned as we were walking up the hill. He goes, "Dad, I feel like I'm playing on the PGA Tour," which I thought was neat. He goes, "What do I do?" I said, "Just keep waving and giving everybody the thumbs up and smiling," and they would just go crazy for the 10 kids that were walking there with their caddies, and it was neat.
All right, you mentioned the thumbs up, man. You told me this off the air, and I wish you would have told me on the air, because the thumbs up, the logo for Preston, there's a lot more meaning to it than just the thumbs up. Talk to me about that.
There is. My grandfather passed away about 2 years ago now, and grandmother just passed away a few weeks ago. His wife, he had Parkinson's really bad, and at the end he was struggling with it. Coming out of COVID and all that, and we couldn't see him like we wanted to see him, and he started losing his voice where he couldn't talk. So, Preston would talk to him, and he would give him the thumbs up to know that, hey, I understand what you're saying. I just can't verbally say that. So, you get a little bit choked up thinking about it, but he would do that with Preston all the way up until the end. So we thought it would be a nice gesture to stamp it on a piece of headwear, and then our entire family and some close friends got some of the hats and some of Preston's buddies. So there's a big significance with the thumbs up, and we have one on our mantle. My parents have one at their house, and some other family members, aunts and uncles, have like little statues of thumbs up, and that's the meaning behind it. It was for my grandfather, who couldn't talk at the end, and that was his way of communicating with the family and communicating with Preston.
Incredible, and for him to carry it, it's on his golf bag and all that stuff. It's awesome. I mean, I get choked up. I got choked up when you told me that after our interview, before Preston went to Augusta, and now it's. I will wear this proudly. I can't thank you enough for this. This is unbelievable.
And it was funny because people down at Augusta are like, "Hey, where'd you get that hat? So we want to get one. It's a cool looking hat and all of that." And I'm like, "Well, it was made just for
his
that
logo.
meaning, but I guess it'd be cool."
And I showed this off earlier, man. To have PT's autograph on this flag, this is going in YSN. I might even put cameras up so nobody touches this other than yours truly. I can't thank you enough for that. All right. One thing that I was excited to talk about, and I'm saving it for last only because it's like a grand unveiling, and you wanted it to be like this because you're such a showman, and I love it. Sounds like we're going to be working together here in a few weeks with another golf experience. Talk to me about the tour, or I guess the tournament you're setting up, and our kind of participation in it.
Sure. So what we did, we started a junior tournament last year here at the Metro Parks. We wanted to make a fun tournament that was less stressful for the kids, and it goes back to my youth. There was a junior tournament that was held at the old Countryside Golf Course, which is now Knoll Run. Damas Jewelers hosted it. They had the coolest trophies just because they were jewelry background. So I had the good fortune of playing in that and winning that. I got some really cool trophies and stuff from there as a kid, but was probably my most enjoyable because you got to play with a buddy. You got to play with a friend, and I think we did like 6-hole scramble, 6-hole stroke play, 6 holes alternate shot. So, trying to bring something back that was just more of an individual
Yeah.
deal like what you'd see at most tournaments. So we brought that back last year as a junior scramble, and we had it for all age divisions, boys and girls both. And we started that last year, and this year going forward, it'll be the YSN
Let's
Junior.
go.
So we're going to be hosting that again this year, and then part of that would be basically putting some cameras on the golf course. We've talked about this a number of times. We were close to doing it with a
And
high
it
school
rained.
match, and it poured on us, and we couldn't get the equipment wet. But we want to be able to televise it and kind of broadcast it like you would see on television. So we're going to do that this summer. So we've got some great trophies and prizes for the kids with our logo. We've got Bridgestone Golf involved in it. We've got Cobra Puma involved in it. And it's just going to be a nice segue for the kids that play tournament golf all summer, basically giving them a fun opportunity before they go to their high school season and play fall golf. So
I love
it's a pretty special event, and we're excited to obviously bring it back for the second year. But we kicked it off last year, and now getting YSN's involvement and being able to promote golf, which is when I think of the word golf pro, I see the pro as a promoter, somebody that promotes your facility, your community, and I think that is the big driver, and that's something that we wanted to do by giving the kids the opportunity to promote golf, but in a fun way.
Okay, so when you and I start teaming up for these golf outings that I'm in all the time, we can just say you're a golf promoter and not a golf pro, or do we have to bring back Tryon Bonar?
Well, got to be under the radar.
B, I can't thank you enough, man. I am so amped up. It has been so hard to keep that a secret up until today. So there you have it. You're going to see a lot more about that. And just I saw you showed me the flag or the towels.
Yep.
Holy cow!
And keep in mind, this all started 2 years ago with the AJGA. We were filming everybody finishing on the 18th hole over in where the tent would be for the South Course. So, I mean, it was an awesome ordeal seeing that we could see that sitting in the booth as we're describing some of the action, watching the players finish up behind you.
No, I love
so this is a parody off of that. So we're excited to be obviously partners with YSN and doing some of the remotes and stuff that we do, plus the advertising. We get a lot of advertising value out of all the stuff that you do at all the sports that you cover, because it reaches a lot of families, and it reaches a lot of families that may not be local, looking at some of these events that come back to the Mahoning Valley, and guess where they're playing golf? They're playing golf here. So it's been huge, and it's been a great partnership for us for 3-4 years now.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
It's been unbelievable, and I love coming here. First off, I love coming here just talking golf with you and talking just life in general, because holy cow, like if we could just talk golf, our lives are perfect. But everything else, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, we talk about other things in sports. Thank you. I appreciate you so much for everything. Brian Tolnar, if you need anything golf, you need to be coming down here, especially if you're a junior. I mean, to be able to be – look what PT's done. Look what he's doing right now. And, again, I said at the beginning, part of this, our level of golf in this area, this region, continues to push. And with places like this, I mean, this is the command center of golf.
Which is awesome. We'd say it's 70 degrees and sunny always at Mill Creek. No matter if it's pouring outside, we've got an avenue for you to come in and work on your game. 12 months out of the year now, which is unheard of, and would have been unheard of when this place was created almost 100 years ago. So, again, going back to adjust, adapt, and evolve. We continue to do that not only with staff but with the amenities that we provide at the Metro Parks, and that comes from great leadership from our executive director all the way down.
Oh, and by the way, the swag, I checked out the golf shop. Oh, man. I saw the hats with Mill and then Creek.
Yep. So
Come
you got
on.
some options.
That's amazing. And the belts are amazing as well. Check those out. I wear mine constantly. I don't think I've taken it off sometimes, but I put it right back on the next day. They're like plastic?
They're C4. They're from an equestrian company, actually. We found them in a back corner of the PGA show about 6-7 years ago. And we got them to do some renditions for us, and they've been hot items. We've got YSU stamped on them. You guys did some YSN ones. I mean, corporate logos. Plenty of opportunities with that, and now they've exploded. Their booth is like tripled in size. It went from a little table in a corner to like a full 25 by 25 booth at the PGA show, which is neat.
It's a perfect when Brian Tolnar gets involved, expansion is coming. So just know that if you see this guy, this handsome devil over here, that your business is about to grow. So, B, again, thank you so much. Appreciate you. I can't wait to get back together again. Cannot wait for that junior tour. I cannot. I'm gonna call it the Junior Tour because I think it's cool. But
It'll be fun.
I saw the towels that have YSN. Like I am geeked out of my mind, and you know that we're gonna put on a good show while we're there too. You're
Absolutely.
gonna be on these, huh?
I will be here.
I can't wait. I can't wait. That's going to do it for the YSN Power Hour. Thanks for your time today. Thanks to our friends over at Toyota Warren, Mill Creek Golf Course as well, Mill Creek Metro Parks. Thanks to Corey Buck, and, of course, thanks to BT himself. The legend continues here at Mill Creek. That's going to do it for our show. We'll see you tomorrow, Friday, right here on the YSN Power Hour. We'll see you next